Hello, my name is Blade Butler, and I'm doing my research presentation on How I Met Your Mother. Excuse me if I sound a little nasally. I've been fighting a cold over the last couple days. So the television series that I'm doing, again, How I Met Your Mother, it's about 5 characters and their daily lives, what's happening in their lives. Really follows the plot of the main character, Ted Mosby. He's the one sitting in the middle of the picture in front of you. He's an architect trying to find the one that he's ultimately going to marry. At one point, we, as followers of the TV show, thought he was going to marry Robin Scherbatsky, which is sitting on his right, is they've had a very on-again, off-again relationship. But it turns out that he does not marry her. He gets married to someone else in the final season of season 9. The person sitting on the very right, and that's Barney Stinson. He is the player of the group. He is the egotistical person. He is constantly picking up women at the bars, one-night stands. He even has a playbook, I think that's what it's called, of how he picked up all of his one-night stands. And then you have the 2 people on the left, that's Marshall and Lily. They're the stable group, they're the stable couple in the group, and they've been pretty much together the whole television series. My thesis that I really want to focus on, I'll read it right from here. It says, in the television series How I Met Your Mother, McLaren's pub's location, environment, and traditions help make an ordinary bar into a place where the characters feel comfortable spending significant portions of their lives. I wanted to focus on McLaren's pub, mainly because it is the focal point of the group. They're constantly meeting there to have a beer after work, and really almost the whole show, almost every single episode at least, has one scene at the bar. So a little proof for my thesis. These are the 3 kind of main topics, main points that I want to make. The location. It's actually on the first floor of Ted's apartment. So Ted's apartment is above it. So it's a very central location for the group to meet up in. Also environment. I wanted to talk about the environment of the bar because it isn't a typical bar. They have great food there. It's great atmosphere. I mean, it's almost a bar where you can take children to. That's almost how family friendly it is. So I really want to emphasize the unique environment and that's unique to McLaren's bar. Also, I wanted to briefly touch on the traditions that the group have set in the bar, such as always sitting at the same booth. You kind of have, their booth, no one else can sit in it. They even have one scene, I'll have to reflect upon it in my essay, but it shows other people sitting in their booth and how that just threw the whole group off. So certain traditions in the bar that kind of help make it more than just a space, more of a place. So I really wanted to focus on these 3 aspects, and I'm definitely open to any suggestions. It's a pretty popular television series. So I wanted to see what your guys' thoughts were on what makes McLaren's pub a little bit more than just a normal bar. A couple sources, I'm still finding more and more as I go along. There's a couple that's not listed in here just because they're not necessarily considered scholarly. But I definitely want to discuss the 2 books that we have been reading throughout the semester. Place, A Short Introduction by Tim Creswell. It definitely kind of narrows down on how you would define place. And so, since my essay is on how McLaren's bar is a place in which the group meets, and it's not necessarily just a space, it's a place. I can definitely use a lot of information that we have been reading in that book. The American Dream by Jim Collan, that is also another great novel. There's a lot of good information, nothing specific that I have found just yet, but a lot of abstract information that I will definitely use to kind of help solidify my paper as a whole. And also one more source that I found, it's What Makes a Successful Place. It's pps.org. It kind of breaks it down into a chart, and there's really about 4 main categories, which makes it a place successful. I don't have those in front of me right now, but I do want to mention those throughout my 3 main topic sentences, or my 3 main points. A couple things that I can use some help on, like I previously mentioned, would be anything that makes McLaren's Bar a little bit more of a place rather than just simply a space that the characters visit. I already kind of mentioned the location, the environment, and certain traditions that the characters make of the bar. But anything that you guys can think of would be very helpful. Also, really anything that you guys can think of in regards to my thesis, the layout, or any constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated. Well, thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I look forward to listening to some of yours to get some of my own information, my own tips for myself. But well, thank you again.